Did you guys watch it? Did you guys watch the WWE Elimination Chamber? Because I know there was a lot of people, and it's so weird. It was on First Take this morning. It was nuts how it took over the wrestling world. And let's just go through the entire card, and we'll finish with that. So while everybody gets here, all right. First off, the Women's Elimination Chamber, loved it. I loved it, and this is why you want to tune into our show. We had Jonathan Coachman, the coach, on Friday, and go check him out at the Coach Rules. Go follow, subscribe, do everything, help him. I said that I thought Jade Cargill was going to appear in this match, and that's exactly what we saw. And she came in and beat the ever-living crap out of Naomi. Now, to me, that says that Naomi did not attack her. It says that it's probably somebody else. But the way that she showed that viciousness, that ferocity, and laid waste to Naomi that was a strict ass beating. Bad. And I really like, and this is the little things, and people ask about WWE and what why you like it or why you don't like it. The little things, the little storylines, and the way that the sports entertainers, the wrestlers, we could say wrestlers again, the way that they react after the fact. And that's exactly what we saw for Liv Morgan. After that whole thing happened, she walks up to Bianca Belair, and she's in her pod in the Elimination Chamber, and she's yelling at her, "This is your fault. This is all your fault." And she's letting her have it. And she's just tearing her a new one. "This is all your fault." And she's just going ham on Bianca. I can't wait to see how that storyline unfolds. Was it Naomi? Was it Naomi and Bianca? Was it somebody else? Did somebody get framed? I love it. And it was a good match. There was not a letdown. It was one of the best PLEs of the entire year. I mean, I know it's still, it happened just a couple of days ago and it's still in March, but they hit on everything. And you look at Bianca, when she was able to do. Liv was fantastic. She really is one of the biggest stars in the game. Bailey, a pro. Roxanne Perez at 23 years old. You look at her and she reminds me of like a young Seth Rollins. She's just that good. She can do everything. She's so smart. Alexa Bliss being back, another great storyteller. And then it ends with Bianca Belair beating Liv Morgan. And we saw it when she countered Oblivion to the KOD. And when it doesn't just stop there. If you watch the entire, because that's the thing, I watched the entire event going all the way into the post game and the press conferences, and we'll get into the great ones with The Rock and Cena in a second. But Bianca, even after the fact, on the desk with Peter Rosenberg and Booker T and who else? Oh, no, it was Peter Rosenberg. It was Biggie and God, why can't I think of the other person that was on there? Okay, regardless. She was conflicted. She was conflicted with the fact that she wanted to celebrate, but she was also terrified because of what happened with Jade Cargill and Naomi. That's that long-term storytelling. That's just never, ever breaking character. I thought it was just so well done. And we'll see, because this story is not stopping. I said before the main event, or I said before the event at all, the Elimination Chamber, I think we're looking at a three-way match with Bianca Belair and also with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. Maybe add Io Sky in there. Maybe it's a four-way match, because I don't think that Jade can wrestle a one-on-one match yet. That's why they've had her in a tag team. She still needs work. But if you put her in a three-way, put her in a four-way, all eyes won't be on her in-ring work. I think that just makes a lot of sense. Next up, the tag team match between Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton taking on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. It's amazing that Trish, who's still not a full-time performer, she can still perform as well as she has. I think you look at somebody like Candice LeRae, a consummate professional, you can put her in a lot of different spots and she could do well. I mean, you need matches like that for the WWE. You need matches like that where, you satiate the mainstream crowd. You bring in Trish Stratus. She's performing in Toronto. There's nothing, you need something like that. And I thought it was a good performance all the way around. The unsanctioned match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, it's unsanctioned. What I really wanted to see at the start of this match is I wanted to see no music and no type of like pomp and circumstance. I wanted, all right, no announcements, no nothing. I just wanted Kevin Owens to, or I wanted Sammy Owens. I wanted Sami Zayn to walk to the ring, and then I wanted Kevin Owens to walk to the ring. I thought that would have been cool. If it's unsanctioned, why do you have announcements? If it's unsanctioned, why do you have entrance music? You shouldn't have anything like that. One guy should just walk in, and then just think about that. A guy walks in, the crowd slowly, and then it permeates throughout the crowd. I think you start with Kevin Owens. And then when he goes into the ring, knowing that that's what you're doing, then all eyes are on the entrance for Sami Zayn. And then he walks out. And then just let it be a natural growth and expansion of that sound. I thought that is one thing, hopefully going forward when it comes to unsanctioned matches, because it won't be the last one that we see. I hope that they go that route and almost seem like, all right, well, we're going to turn off our production for this match as well. But it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. Tables and chairs with barbed wire, brain busters, kicks. These guys just don't put out a bad performance. And I know when we look back on this era of WWE, we're going to talk about Netflix with Roman Reigns, and we're going to talk about Cody Rhodes, right? On the women's side, we're going to talk about Bianca, and we're going to talk about Rhea Ripley. But I really hope that when we look back on this time, this decade, I hope that we also remember Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Because you look at what these two guys have been able to do, whether it's together, whether it's separate, whether it's fighting each other, whether it's in a tag team. They, to borrow a phrase from Sheamus, banger after banger after banger. Nobody's tired of this matchup because they always peel back another layer. They can always add another chapter to this saga. And I find it hard to believe that there's ever been a better pairing of two wrestlers in the history of WWE, better than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And guys may work together for a little while. They could have a long storied history. I mean, who would you compare Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to? The way that they've intertwined their stories throughout their careers. I don't know if anybody compares. I mean, the ones that come to mind, you look at Kane and Undertaker, you look at Triple H and Shawn Michaels. But I don't know if I would compare them to Kevin and Sami because of what happened in NXT. There's so many different heel turns. There's so many different aspects of what they were able to do. I mean, they main evented WrestleMania. So you could say, all right, yeah, HBK and Triple H because of the heel turns, because of the history with D-Generation X. I get that, right? But when you look at these two guys, vicious heel turns, so many in-depth storylines. You didn't have a guy leave like Shawn Michaels did because he lost his smile and then due to injury for a while before he came back. And I mean, it's a fantastic partnership between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. But these two guys, dating back to NXT when Sami won the title and Kevin turned on him, coming up to the main roster where Kevin was able to stamp his, plant his flag in the ground by beating John Cena. And then the back and forth with those guys, the way that they were able to go toe-to-toe, and Sami ends up turning on the bloodline because of Kevin and then going to WrestleMania and winning the tag team championships. I don't know if there's ever been a pairing that has been better than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I take my hat off to those guys. Phenomenal. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. You guys ready for this? The men's Elimination Chamber matchup. You want to talk about star power? Time and time again, you see these guys it just didn't stop. There was no lull in the action, and it was just so many top-level elite WWE performers doing what they do best. And you can see how the Elimination Chamber kind of sets up what the next chapter in the stories are for multiple storylines. Drew McIntyre, he gets pinned by Damian Priest, rolled up there after hitting a Claymore, and you're wondering, all right, where does Drew go from here? And I know Coach said, I think Drew was a guy that can win it all, and there was people that thought Drew McIntyre was going to be that guy, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He loses. Damian Priest beats him. That's probably the match we'll see at WrestleMania. Then Damian Priest loses, and he gets eliminated by Logan Paul. Logan Paul loses and gets eliminated, and then you see the final three, which is, Paul gets eliminated by CM Punk. Don't be surprised if you see that interaction tonight. But Seth Rollins, John Cena, and CM Punk, the final three, and I think a lot of people thought that was what it was going to be. And you look at what Seth Rollins does in these type of matches. He really is that guy that regardless of the match, he's going to do something important. It could be an Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. It could be a match that doesn't even have anything to do with him, like we saw with night 2 of WrestleMania last year, where Roman hit him with the chair instead of Cody. Like, he is the glue when it comes to the WWE. Was I surprised that he got pinned? No. Because I think Seth did exactly what he was supposed to do, and that was be in that spot to cost somebody and also get beat in an extravagant way. So he gets beaten after he takes a go to sleep and then an AA. He gets knocked out by 2 of the most iconic finishers ever. Then, after Punk gets hit kind of through the ropes, here comes Seth Rollins, boom, stomps his head, and Punk played it off so well, just kind of laying there. And here comes John Cena with the STF. Punk passes out while Seth Rollins is screaming for him to die from outside of the ring. Amazing. It was nuts. So we knew that going into this pay-per-view that we were going to see Cody Rhodes answer the final boss. We knew that. But my question was, when we didn't see it before Elimination Chamber, is the winner of the Elimination Chamber going to be out there when this happens? Or are they going to go to break? Are they going to take their time? Are they going to set it up with a big time package and then have Cody go out to the ring? And then here comes the final boss. When Cody's music played while John Cena was still in the ring, I had a feeling that something was up with Cena. And I hate that. I hate saying that. And I just, it happens. It comes with the territory when you're a wrestling fan, because you're always looking out for the swerve. You're always looking out for something to happen. And when Cena was out there and Cody's music played, I went, oh shit, something's about to go down. So they go out there, and then here comes the final boss. And I still can't believe that they didn't bleep it out. But after a slight back and forth, we see Cody Rhodes tell Rock to go F himself and that he is not going to give him his soul. Cena hyping it up, looking happy, gives Cody's daps, pulls him in, and then it was eerily reminiscent of the time where Randy Orton was hoisted up on Batista's shoulders and Triple H was giving him the thumbs up, and then he looked at Batista and then he goes like this. They drop Randy Orton after he wins the World Heavyweight title, and then they beat the dog crap out of him. Evolution turns on Randy Orton. It was something similar there where John Cena, as he's in mid-embrace with Cody Rhodes, he looks up at The Rock, and The Rock just gives him and then Cena, I love how Cena did it. His face turned, he smiled at Cody as he backed him, and then he just kicked him right in the family jewels. And to be able to watch the epic beatdown that happened after the fact. And I'm surprised, too, with Michael Cole. Michael Cole saying, oh, brass knucks. Like, how could you not see that it was a Rolex? How could you not see that it was that Rolex that Cody Rhodes was given? Like, that was clear as day. And it's storytelling because it was, quote-unquote, his dad's Rolex. But Cena beats the crap out of Cody Rhodes. Travis Scott is in there for some reason. He pops Cody with a good one. The Rock takes some of the blood off of Cody and wipes it on the belt that said Cody's soul with the date of his dad's death on it. Now, Travis Scott being in there, he better be a big part of this going forward, Because if not, I think he was just I know he's a huge star, but think about how big of a moment this was in wrestling. Nobody's talking about Travis Scott being there today. The only thing people are saying is, why was Travis Scott there? You didn't need him there. This was on First Take today by ESPN. It wasn't because of Travis Scott. It was because of John Cena. It was because of The Rock, and it was because of Cody Rhodes and because of what happened. One of the biggest heel turns in the history of professional wrestling. That is what it's all about. That drama, that photo of Rock and Cena. And listen, Travis Scott was there. I'm not going to take anything away. I mean, he's one of the biggest stars in the world. But those three guys standing there in the middle of the ring, and then those three guys standing in the aisleway and just posing. And then Michael Cole, like freaking out. Wade Barrett and Pat McAfee helping Cody Rhodes to the back. Like the way that WWE pulled this off, for all the shit that Triple H gets and The Rock and all, it's the long-term play. It's the long-term play. And it's long-term storytelling. And that is that's the reason why the WWE is so great. It's because when they do things like that, the roller coaster of emotion, it's incomparable. The way that they do things, it's bar none better than anybody that we've ever seen do it. And then the post game, to be able to see what John Cena was able to do, to be able to see what The Rock was able to do and Triple H, like it's not just what goes on in the ring. It's everything. It's everything. It's the pomp and circumstance, right? But it just they didn't miss Saturday night. They didn't miss. Now, a lot of people are asking, is this the best heel turn of all time? Is it number one? And I'm going to say the John Cena turn was amazing. Again, I love how he used the Rolex as brass knuckles and beat the living crap out of Cody. You know, Cena walking into that press conference afterwards, taking the mic out of the stand and just dropping it on the table was so incredibly well done. I can't wait to see where this is going. You know, The Rock holding up those three fingers at Bad Blood. Was that a foreshadowing of Cena coming on board, hustle, loyalty, and respect? Or does that mean that there's one more piece to the puzzle? I loved it all, to be honest with you. But with that being said, this was only the second greatest heel turn of all time. And I'm going to tell you why Hulk Hogan teaming up with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to form the NWO at Bash at the Beach in 1996 was number one. Here's the three reasons. Number one, there was no internet to speculate what was going to happen. We all knew that there was a third man back in 96, but we didn't know it was going to be someone turning heel. We were left watching the match with Hall and Nash taking on Macho Man and Sting and Lex Luger and waiting for that last person to walk down the aisle and arrive. And Hogan wasn't even anywhere in the conversation. So that's why it was such a surprise. Number two, the fan reaction to the turn itself. I mean, after the match was over, because it didn't really end there at Bash at the Beach, me and Gene Okerlund went into the ring to interview the NWO, and the entire canvas was littered with garbage. People were pissed. Now, peppered through, you might see people that were excited a little bit, but the overwhelming majority of that audience was not happy. And even though there are people that are genuinely upset that Cena is now a heel, there's still a large contingent of the wrestling fan base that has been wanting this for many, many years. And number three, John Cena is not Hulk Hogan. Now, as much as Cena has done in his career, in and out of wrestling, and Hulk Hogan, I know, isn't certainly the apple of many people's eyes as he once was, we can all agree that wrestling would not be here today if it wasn't for Hulkamania running wild in the 80s and the 90s. He made it mainstream. And when he turned, it was like your entire childhood flipped upside down. I know them both. I know it's kind of crazy to think that the guy that said, say your prayers and eat your vitamins and listen to your parents turned heel. And now we have the guy that said, never give up and hustle, loyalty, respect. Now he's the bad guy. It's all great. It was all fantastic. But my question to you guys is, which one was better? Because I think they were both amazing. What a great event overall Saturday night. When you think about what goes on in professional wrestling and how people at times kind of look at it and they're like, not really my thing, or I only watched it when Rock and Stone Cold were around. Well, now it's on ESPN in the morning. And now you're starting to see more and more people. Just think back. Think back to over the weekend when that happened. Go look at your social media. Go look at Twitter, look at Facebook, look at Instagram, and you're going to hear the numbers this week on WWE television. This was something that overlapped sports, entertainment, pop culture. It was on the tip of everybody's tongue. And you see all the memes. Now listen, we're in a meme-driven world. And you're seeing everybody in that look on John Cena's face. And we're not going to see him for a while because he left right after the press conference last night to Africa to resume filming. But the next time that he steps into a WWE ring and he cracks the mic and he's there in front of a live audience, I cannot wait to see the reaction, because this is one of the most polarizing figures that we've seen in pro wrestling. Even to this day, you'll still hear, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." It's been like that his entire career. He was a guy that I know a lot of people thought he was force-fed down your throats. He was a wrestler that was targeting audiences of, young children. We don't want that guy. He was too clean. He's too polished. We're going to boo the hell out of him. But now we're seeing a Cena that I think a lot of people were wondering, are we ever going to see this guy? And especially now, especially during this time where he has announced that this is it. This is going to be the last thing for me. I am going to go out. This is going to be my last year as a live performer. And now he's turned heel. I can't wait for Monday Night Raw tonight. Can't wait to hear what the periphery has to say. And I'm talking about guys outside of The Rock, John Cena, and Cody. Like, what does Seth Rollins have to say about this? What does CM Punk have to say about this? What are the Usos have to say? What about Roman Reigns? When does he come back? Because you have to think Roman Reigns is going to be involved in a big time match. It's going to be with Seth Rollins. And as much as I thought that it's going to be, and I've been saying this for weeks after Royal Rumble, I thought it was going to be Rollins against Reigns one-on-one, CM Punk joining up that match with Cody and John Cena. I'm here to say that I don't think that's happening anymore. I don't think you can add CM Punk into that match with Cody and John Cena. It is too powerful. It is too powerful. That has to be a one-on-one matchup. And with the way that Seth Rollins cost CM Punk in that match, I think that storyline just continues. It continues. Where does that go when it comes to CM Punk in his favor? I don't know. But as much as we want to talk about CM Punk in the favor, I think we're getting some things wrong when we're talking about, like Roman owes him. Roman doesn't owe him shit. It's Paul Heyman that owes him. And also, it doesn't necessarily have to be WrestleMania. Doesn't have to be WrestleMania. It could be something else. We just don't know what it is.